ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Battleground, WWE Battleground 2016 review. This pay-per-view, ladies and gentlemen, actually was very, very surprising. I don't care what Joe Cronin says. I don't care what JD from New York 206 says. This fucking pay-per-view was well worth your 3.5 hours of your time. You really had some good action here and there. There was moments where it was kind of slow, it kind of sucked. But majority of this pay-per-view was very entertaining. Now, storyline-wise, did they accomplish a whole lot? I don't know about that. I mean, there was two things that were accomplished. The main event and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. The rest of it was just matches that were put together, things of that sort. But action-wise, entertainment-wise, it was fun as fuck to watch. Now, if you want to go on to the storyline basis, what does all this mean? What did they tell? They didn't do a great job with that. I'll be straight up honest with you. There was points and reasonings that were just really unexplained, and I'll go into them as I go along in this review. So, to start things off, we had Sasha Banks and her mystery partner against Charlotte and Dana Brooke. The mystery partner was Bayley. Now, unfortunately, from what I've heard from YouTube, other YouTube channels that do reviews, they think that the idea of having Bayley as the special partner with Sasha Banks is a little weak and not that good of a debut for Bayley. My opinion about this match, just based on the situation, I think it was the right thing to do. Have her disappear, go back to NXT, do her thing, and then have her return to have a proper debut, technically, after Sasha Banks wins the Women's Championship. That's what needs to happen. I think that Clash of Champions, that's when Bayley needs to challenge for the Women's Championship belt. She also has her in-ring debut match against Charlotte on Monday Night Raw to determine the number one contender for the title at Clash of Champions. And there you go. Great introduction. You have her in a number one contenders match at leading into Night of Champions or Clash of Champions, whatever you want to call it. And then she has her championship match with Sasha Banks. That's how you do this. Fuck the rematch with Charlotte and all that bull crap. That it should be left alone. That's my opinion on that. Bayley deserves to have back-to-back good matches that help her debut shine, because she deserves it, and she definitely is a well-liked superstar by everyone in that arena tonight, as well as every other night that I've watched her matches. I mean, I've heard the crowd loves her. She is a female version of John Cena, only she is liked. She is not hated, which is awesome and wonderful. So she deserves a number one contender debut match on Monday Night Raw against Charlotte, and then winning that match, and then going on to face Sasha Banks for the Women's Championship. Now, my opinion about her winning the title, I don't think so. I think Sasha Banks deserves to have a title reign that lasts a while, and then eventually she loses the belt. And that's how I feel about that. The opener match with Sasha Banks and Bayley, they did win the match between Charlotte and Dana Brooks. I was very impressed with this opener. I think it was very well put together by all four women. I definitely give it a 3 out of 5 stars. Most definitely. Next match was the first 6-man tag team match out of the two that were placed on this card. The Wyatt family versus the New Day. The Wyatt versus New Day was a good match. Again, I give it a 3 out of 5 stars. The only problem is there's a lot of unexplained things going on. One, the Wyatt family did win the match, which I predicted and believe that should have happened because the Wyatt deserved to have a return match where they end up being on top. The whole thing with Xavier Woods is very awkward. The storyline being told is not even really explained whatsoever, except he's hypnotized by Bray Wyatt for whatever fucked up crazy reason. I have no idea, and probably everyone else who watches this unfold doesn't understand what this is about either. So, this is just an utter complete waste of time and meaningless because now, after this match is done and over with, the Wyatt family have nothing to do with each other except for Eric Rowan and Bray Wyatt, and they're probably going to bring Luke Harper into SmackDown to put back together the old faction of the Wyatt family and have Braun Strowman be in his own individual on Raw, and probably try to develop him into a major superstar of some kind, which I highly doubt is going to work out in his best interest. So, who gives a shit and who fucking cares? The New Day, they performed very well together. Xavier Woods, he had a very decent spot where he was pretty much fighting off the entire Wyatt family by himself because both of his partners were pretty exhausted and banged up from the Wyatt family altogether. So he actually had a nice moment in there, even though he ended up being the one pinned by Bray Wyatt with the Sister Abigail finishing maneuver. So I really don't understand the point of Xavier Woods being hypnotized by Bray Wyatt, but what the fuck ever. Move on and forget about it. Unless he's being sucked into the Wyatt family, like he's supposed to be part of the Wyatt family to be turned into something great. I don't quite understand their reasoning behind all this, but who the fuck cares at this point? It's freaking retarded. Rusev versus Zack Ryder for the United States Championship. As I said, Rusev was going to retain, and he did. Pretty bland, regular ordinary match. Nothing big. 2.5 out of 5 stars. So, I really didn't care for this match all so much. It wasn't that big of a deal. Zack Ryder had some pops here and there. Then his partner from NXT, I have no idea what his fucking name is, could care less. But supposedly he's a psychopath and he's crazy and he's big and muscular and what have you, but who gives a shit? The next match after that was Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this match should have been the fucking main event. These two should have had a WrestleMania moment with each other, just one-on-one, no one else, for the Intercontinental Championship. They fucking stole the show with this match. This match was the best match on the whole fucking card. No offense to the World Heavyweight Championship match, which was great, by the way, and I'll get into that when I get to the end of this review, but this match was just unbelievable. Great storyline, great heart put into this story by both of these guys, great promo video all around. And the in-ring action was fucking unbelievable. Now look, I don't give 5 out of 5 stars very often for matches, but this was a fucking 5-star. Simply because of the fact of the storyline being built. It's about a long-term friendship turned bad over the course of being in the NXT all the way into the WWE main roster. Perfect storyline, just like a Shawn Michaels Triple H storyline. Unbelievable. Perfect. Great way of going ahead and building this storyline. Next thing, great promo video. Unbelievable story they were telling before the match was even to start. And then at the end of the day, the match itself was freaking phenomenal. It was fantastic. 5 out of 5 stars. If you got those 3 elements, you got a 5 out of 5 stars in my book. That was just freaking fantastic. I enjoyed every second of that match, and the fans were going apestick, chanting "Fight forever! This is awesome!" What have you? They were chanting for both men. Both men were appreciated in this match, and both of these guys just fought their hearts out and beat the fuck out of each other, and put on a great performance by both of them to make this match even possible. One thing I have to say in this video, I thank them both for putting on finally a really awesome and amazing match for a pay-per-view that, in my opinion, was going to turn out to be shit. And they just elevated that son of a bitch. If it wasn't for them being on this card, I don't think I'd be saying this pay-per-view was so great. I'd say it was okay, but I wouldn't be saying it was good or great or anything like that. I'd be saying it was an alright pay-per-view. This was a freaking outstanding matchup and elevated this pay-per-view a hell of a lot more than it would have been without them. So, kudos to both of them, and once again, thank you to both of them for putting on such a great match and giving us such entertainment that we rightfully deserve. Natalya and Becky Lynch. This match ended with Natalya defeating Becky Lynch by submission. I was actually surprised by that. I thought Becky Lynch was going to win this match. She actually ended up losing. This match, I give it a 2 out of 5 stars. It wasn't all that entertaining. Miz defending the fucking Intercontinental Championship, and it ended up being a double disqualification number 1 against Darren Young, who was never great to begin with. So their whole gimmick that they got going here with Bob Backlund and fucking Darren Young is a fucking disgrace and retarded. It makes absolutely no sense, nor does it even fucking matter or make a difference about Darren Young being elevated to any sort of fucking level. I think it makes Bob Backlund seem more important than Darren Young, to be honest with you. The Miz walks away with retaining the title because of the double disqualification. This match was a fucking dud. I give it a half a star out of 5 stars. It was pathetic. Absolutely fucking pathetic. Waste of everybody's time, and should have not even been on the pay-per-view. If anything, it lowered the quality of the pay-per-view and could have been done on a SmackDown or a Raw episode. Something like that, instead of being wasted on this card. On paper, it actually looked pretty damn good. But for this match to even be on there, it lowered the quality of this pay-per-view, in my opinion. Alright, so the next match we had John Cena, Enzo Amore, and Big Cass versus The Club, which is AJ Styles, Carl Anderson, and Luke Gallows. And John Cena picks up the victory over AJ Styles with an FU off the top, or should I say attitude adjustment, off the top rope. And picking up the victory over AJ Styles. This I absolutely disagree with. Did not agree with the fact that AJ Styles was the one to be pinned. I think that was a crock of shit. That pinfall should have been saved for them to face each other at SummerSlam. And they made the wrong decision on this. But, was the match entertaining? Absolutely. Good in-ring action by all 6 men. And it was really enjoyable, especially the beginning of the match. Again, Enzo Amore and Colin Cass creating some entertaining comments and commentary they were making before the match even started. So overall, it was a pretty decent match, though, despite the ending. I did not agree with the pinfall on AJ Styles. I thought it should have been one of the guys from the club being pinned by John Cena. But without the whole, being mad about the whole situation about AJ being pinned by John Cena cleanly, may I add, I still give this match a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It was still a really decent match. Then we also had Chris Jericho and Randy Orton highlight reel show. Jericho is shooting bullshit back and forth with Randy Orton about why he came back, you don't like him, and yada yada yada, and so forth. And Randy Orton just came back and remarked by saying, "Well, you know what? I picked Brock Lesnar because I wanted to come back and make an impact in my return. Unlike, facing Fandango after being gone for several months," which he was making a reference to Chris Jericho facing Fandango at WrestleMania 29, which was quite funny and entertaining. Jericho was very funny on the mic. He did, get some chuckles out of me and whatnot from his commentary that he was having with Randy Orton. Randy Orton seemed more lively and charismatic. He didn't seem so robotic and, like, I'm the Viper, I'm going to strike, blah, blah, blah. Nah, he sounded a little bit more like he sounded like a mixture of the Viper and the Legend Killer mixed together. I actually liked it. I thought it was really good. He has his face shaved. He looks really, professional, I guess you could say, or, classy looking, I guess. But he looks better with his face shaved, and he looks a lot like the old Randy Orton that had a cocky attitude and seemed like he, had balls. The Viper character did have balls and had a lot of intensity, and he seems like he has a mixture of both of those characters rolled into one, which I actually like. I think that's very good on their part to do that. I hope he continues to stay more charismatic, more, with a personality, and he really seemed like he had a personality. He didn't seem so bland and boring on the mic, which was a nice change of pace for once. But that's pretty much it, and Randy Orton hit an RKO on Chris Jericho after Jericho joked around with, "Are you going to hit me with an RKO now? You going to hit me with it now? Now?" And then so forth, and then he finally got hit with the RKO altogether. Randy Orton took a bow to end that segment, which I thought was very entertaining. The next match, which was the main event, the WWE Championship match. I was very, very, I liked the video. The promo video, once again, another good promo video to start off before the match even started. I did like that. I thought that was very good. It really told a good story, despite the fact of the storyline build-up going into the show, the match altogether. This promo video made up for a lot of the mishaps that they did on WWE Raw and SmackDown. Because Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose had to hype the match up together without Roman Reigns being there because he was suspended for failing a drug test. So basically, this was a very good storytelling they did here with this promo video, and the in-ring action was pretty decent. It wasn't bad. It was slow at moments. People were kind of like not really into it. Then they're starting to get into it. They definitely were booing the shit out of Roman Reigns the whole entire time, and booing, like the whole fucking arena was booing him. It didn't even sound like there was a half cheers, half boos. It wasn't no John Cena reaction. It was a full-blown, "we think you suck" chants roaring around the entire arena. You couldn't hear a kid speaking his mind whatsoever. It was that fucking loud. So, quite honestly, I think the whole majority of the audience are fed up of Roman Reigns, do not give two shits about Roman Reigns, and don't want to see him anywhere near the WWE Championship, which eventually will happen. It just matters of when that's going to happen is what I have to say. Dean Ambrose walked away as the WWE Champion, retaining the belt, and they said it's exclusively on SmackDown. Now, I'm confused here. One, I was very impressed that Vince McMahon went with Dean Ambrose. That was a shocker. I thought he was going to go with Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns. I thought more of Roman Reigns than Seth Rollins, but I was very shocked Dean Ambrose walked away as the still retaining the championship after all this. He gave Dean Ambrose his moment, and I think that was outstanding on Vince's part. It shows he's listening to the WWE audience, and it's giving us something worth watching. This was a shocker. I really could not believe that Vince McMahon stuck with Dean Ambrose retaining the championship. I was figuring this was a title loss and that was the end of it. But that's not the case. I was really shocked by this. I give this match a 4 out of 5 stars. Because this was absolutely entertaining, fun, and it was very enjoyable. There was good action here. I mean, they practically... In all honesty, I think Vince McMahon showed the audience that he is just as mad at Roman Reigns as they are. To be straight up with you guys, he had Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns fucking powerbomb, or Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins powerbomb Roman Reigns through a fucking table, and then instead of Seth Rollins being the one getting pinned by Dean Ambrose is fucking hitting dirty deeds on Roman Reigns and pinning him, which is quite shocking. He actually ended up being the guy being pinned on top of all that. So with all that being said, I have to say one thing. I was very impressed with this. I'm definitely going to check out Raw, because they're doing something different. They're making different choices, shaking things up, trying different things, and not being so predictable. And I have to say this match was not predictable. This was very unpredictable, to be quite honest with you, because my prediction was completely off. I said, Roman Reigns will just win, they'll hand him back the title. They didn't give the title back to fucking Roman Reigns. It went to Dean Ambrose, and it's staying around his waist. And supposedly it's staying on SmackDown altogether. So you won't even see Dean Ambrose tomorrow night on Raw with the belt. So it's going to be quite interesting to see what they're going to do for Monday Night Raw. More than likely, of course, they're going to create the new World Heavyweight Championship belt, depending on what they're going with, the old school World Heavyweight title, or they're going to go with a new design championship for Monday Night Raw. But in all honesty, my God, man, it was a shocker seeing Dean Ambrose walk away retaining the WWE Championship. I thought he had no chance in hell walking away with that belt, simply because he was just a hand-me-down paper champion for Vince McMahon to say, well, here we go, Roman Reigns failed a drug test, we'll just give Seth Rollins the belt, have Dean Ambrose come in, knock him out, and get the belt, give him his moment for a little while. Roman Reigns will come back in, he'll have his championship match with Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. We'll put this triple threat match together since we're going to be splitting them up. And then we go ahead and we have Roman Reigns win back the title and everything's glory in the world. And then in one small swoop, we're seeing Dean Ambrose beating Roman Reigns. Now that's a bit different. But anyway, I thank you guys very much for watching. This is my overall opinion about this pay-per-view. Storyline-wise, 2 good matches that occurred. Very well done. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn did steal the show, as I said. 5 out of 5 stars for that. 4 out of 5 stars for the WWE Championship match. And the rest of it was just a standard, regular, okay show. So with those 2 matches, it definitely made the show an overall 3.5 out of 5 stars. So it wasn't too bad. Actually, I'll be generous. It was a 4 out of 5 stars, to be quite honest with you, because pretty much every match was entertaining except for a few of them. And that's pretty much it I have to say on that. So leave your comments and opinions down below. Hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to have a great night.